What's up, YouTube? So if you've been following along, you'll know that we have been struggling with getting this car painted, and to say the least, it has not been fun, but I do enjoy working on the car, so it's been a learning experience. Obviously you can paint a car in a shop like this and it can turn out great. There's plenty of people on YouTube that do it. And then there's plenty of other people like myself that just keep screwing it up, or they try to act like it's good when it's really not. I'm not one of those people. If it looks like crap, I'll tell you. And to say the least, it looked like crap every single time that I tried to lay clear coat. And when I tried the color shift paint recently, I had what you call zebra stripes underneath the paint, and you could see those through the color shift, and it just wasn't gonna turn out right. Now, I could go back and redo that. I've got enough material, believe it or not, to do that again. But after looking at it, I really didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to. And so I've come up with another decision on what I want to do, but I'm not going to disclose it yet. A lot of cards have to fall into place, and I have to rely on someone else who is more talented than myself to do what I'm wanting to do to this car. And so I don't want to say for sure what we're doing yet until it's done, or at least until that person is here. Maybe I'll do some short clips as it goes, but as of right now, the plan is for the artist to come out next weekend and start on the car. And so that is the plan as of now. But of course, when you're relying on somebody else, plans can always change, which is understandable. You know, everybody has a life, everybody's doing things. So I'm gonna keep myself, I guess, at the mercy of someone else to help me finish this car. You know, I've did all this work up until this point myself. I haven't had anybody else working on the car. I don't have a team of people behind the scenes in here working on this car. And I've put somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, I keep saying about 400 hours. It's probably more than that now, but we're just gonna say 400 hours minimum that I've got in this car. You know, molding these fender flares, molding the side skirts, doing all the body work. You know, the front fenders are new. The hood, of course, is aftermarket. The doors are new. I've had the windows out. I've had the complete entire interior has been removed from this car and redone. If you follow along in the series, you'll see that there's pretty much not a spot on this car that I haven't took apart and reassembled, minus the suspension. That's the only thing that hasn't been done. And so it will be good to get someone else who can help me finish some of the stuff that I just don't have the talent to do. And so not gonna go on here and try to make out like something is better than it is, but I feel like if I get someone talented enough to get this car the way I want, I'll be happy with it, and we can go from there. Like I say, I don't want to do any spoilers yet. I want to get it on there and see what I think, and then we'll see a final reveal. There, of course, are some things that are going to get changed on this car. So, you know, we got spacers on here. My plan is to get rid of the spacers at some point, because I really don't want to drive the car too much with spacers. Spacers can be safe, you know, if used right and installed correctly, but I just don't want the worry that they may ever break or fail. And so at some point, those are definitely gonna go. The wheels that I've got powder coated over there may or may not even go with this color scheme. And I'm probably just gonna go with some bare aluminum style rims at some point with the correct offsets so that they stick in the fenders like they need to, and I don't have to run wheel spacers. But that'll be down the road. As I say, for now, I just really want to get the car put together, get all the bugs worked out, and be done with it until I decide to do other small modifications. And so what I've been doing this weekend is putting everything that needs to be together back together. I've got the hood on and it's set where it needs to be, where it's not gonna scrub. I had an issue with the hood scrubbing in the back. I didn't have this rear gap back here good enough, and so it was scrubbing. I've got all that worked out. These 2 hood latches are gonna come back off, but I'm gonna leave the piece that they hook into in, and I'm just gonna tape that off whenever we paint. I've still got the front of the radiator taped off, and of course all the windows and the hood cowl, everything is taped off, and I don't have the breather in, but I reinstalled the front bumper. Have not put the bottom valance on yet that I made because it'll go on after the car is painted. But got all the grill stuff installed, minus the grill itself because I don't want it painted. Body work turned out pretty decent on this car. Spent a lot of time blending these flares in to the front and the back. The back does have a little bit of a wave to it here or there, which was expected. But where it's at now is good enough for me. I think it looks okay. And I think with the paint scheme that I plan to go on this car, it'll be fine. We got the rear bumper, rear valance installed. The valance is bolted at the top, but I have not secured the bottom yet. So I still have to do that. But the rear bumper that I made, turned it into a 1-piece bumper. It's on. Haven't had any issues with cracking or anything from where I did all the fiberglass work. So I'm happy with that. The rear trunk is on. It's also adjusted. I had the same problem with the trunk as I did with the hood. The back gap just was not enough and it scrubbed. But now it's adjusted correctly. It still has to be adjusted down just a little bit, but that's just this latch here. And I have a brand new gasket, which I think is pushing up on it. So I'm gonna have to adjust that, but that's no big deal. That can be done after paint. The main thing is that nothing is scrubbing. But we still got all the jams and everything taped off. I was playing around with the same vinyl that I got on the back of the car. Don't know if that's gonna stay or not. It has to come back off regardless before paint goes on. But I may actually leave that on there. And then of course there's gonna be a kicker plate that goes across there. So maybe after the car's painted, maybe I'll reinstall some vinyl, put the kicker plates in just to give it a little accent. Holes are drilled for the mirror. Holes are drilled for the rear spoiler. Everything in the front is sized out properly to fit. The only thing that I do want to do, which shouldn't be any issue, is I want to put the breather box back in just temporarily, just to make sure, ever since I slid the hood just ever so slightly forward, that all of this is still going to clear. It should, but I'll double check it before I go any further. But I believe I had it installed after I had it adjusted with the other hood latches that broke, but it should be in the same spot. But as you can see, I don't think I've mentioned this, the car is currently in primer again. So this is a high build primer. I plan to do one more thick coat on top of this. I'll probably do that this evening. I'm gonna go pick up another cheap spray gun from Harbor Freight just to spray that out. And then I'm gonna run my torpedo heater because I want that to dry as quickly as possible. The instructions say that it flashes off in 90 minutes with heat, or 3 to 4 hours without heat. So I'm gonna run heat in the shop just while I'm in here, and then I'll turn it off and I'll come out Sunday and I'll probably wet sand the entire car, because again, this is a high build sandable primer, and then I can just have it smooth and ready for the base coat. But that's the plan. Of course, these have to come back off, but I think we're in pretty good shape. Again, I'm not gonna go into any details on what the new paint scheme is gonna be, but I think it's gonna turn out pretty good, and we'll see if the guy that I've been speaking to shows up this next weekend, and see if we can't get this thing done. Really, we just have to paint it and then clear it, and we'll be in good shape. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video. We'll see everybody maybe tomorrow if I do an update video. If not, it'll be next week. But that's where we're at, that's where we stand. And I hope you've been enjoying all the videos I've been making and seeing where this car has come to. It's been a long journey for sure, but we are almost at the finish line with this thing. And I'm excited to see it get done and maybe actually be able to drive it down the road and back and test everything out. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.